Women on a green mission. Follow along as two friends document their unfurling permaculture journeys.
Join our chats each week where we will be sharing how we and others apply the ethics and principles of permaculture to our gardens and daily life.
We're no experts. We're at the start of our journey, learning and fumbling our way to a greener life. You're guaranteed to witness a few successes, plenty of failures, laughs and swearing. We'd love your company along the way.
Hey!
Hello, this is our last one.
Last episode.
Not forever.
Oh no, not forever. Just for season 1.
Oh my goodness, I was going to say, we are coming back.
No. And we're recording together, which is super nice. So I've come for a little sleepover at Joe's house. And yes, having a big day working and recording. And we thought we'd record our season finale.
Ta-da!
15 episodes.
It's gone really quick.
It really has.
Like, I feel like we've only just started.
We have just started season 1.
You know what I mean.
So we're going to do a bit of like a wrap-up episode and just chat the season that was and a bit about our plans for next season.
A little bit of a teaser about who we're going to have on next season. So we've got some really cool guests lined up. But before we get into that, we are recording at my place, which I am on Wanneroo country here in the Hunter Valley. And you are recording on exactly the same place.
I'm here, finally.
So I want to know,
yes,
out of all of our episodes, which is your favourite?
My favourite. So my favourite to record, I reckon, was Brett, because for me it was like a trip down memory lane. Like it was,
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like partly reliving parts of our PDC because we'd heard some of those stories and things when we did our PDC. So that was really nice. And it was just kind of a reminder of how far we've come in such a short period of time and how much I've learned.
So much. And
that journey that I've kind of been on the last 6 months to a year kind of thing. Yeah, it was just really nice for me to record because it just felt like a...
You're reminiscing.
Yeah. It was a good episode for me. So I really enjoyed recording that. And I think it's a really good episode to listen to because it is our most listened to episode.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, which is, a little bit to be expected. Brett's really easy to listen to. He's got, a wealth of knowledge. He's just down to earth. And look, the man loves to talk. Let's be honest. Like he's
good at it.
He can talk the leg off a chair. He's very bloody good at it.
But he's engaging. He doesn't talk at you. Like you listen to him when he talks. He's just such an engaging person. So
yeah, it was definitely fun. And even the conversation that we had afterwards that was off air. Yeah, once the microphones were turned off. Sorry, guys. But because we had to have a catch up as well. So it was really, really good. Yeah. Really good.
And what about you? What was your favourite episode of season 1?
I think from the fun perspective, look, Brett's was definitely up there as well. But I think actually our Christmas episode,
that was
our
fun.
very permy Christmas, because it was even the research in that. So it was fun to record, but the research as well, it was like you and I were getting excited like a pair of 5-year-olds. It was like, oh, we could do this and we could do that. And then we had to remind ourselves, like, just calm your farm. Like we don't have to do it all as well. Like this is just options for what you can do at Christmas time. We don't have to do it all as well. But it was really good fun, and I don't know, it brought the joy back for me a little bit for Christmas. So we've had other stuff going on, and there was a little bit of a downer at Christmas time for us. So we had a very quiet Christmas, which was nice, but it missed a little bit of the magic and the joy, and I think that sort of brought it back for me a little bit.
And it was kind of a reminiscing episode. Like, remember when your kids were little and you did this? And so that was nice to kind of remember traditions and remember what matters for us for Christmas. So I agree.
It got me in the feels a bit, which was which was good. Yeah. So, and what about you from a, I suppose, learning or educational perspective? Which episode do you think you learnt the most from?
I think I learnt the most out of Kelly from the Pickle
Patch. Yeah.
because there was so much in there that I didn't know about mushrooms and how to grow them and how easy it would be and that kind of thing. But Will and Anthea, I felt like I also had my eyes opened a bit to things that I hadn't thought about. But definitely just knowledge-wise, Kelly, I learnt the most from. But, yeah, I think Will and Anthea, I also kind of went away with a lot of questions, and I kind of went down a bit of a rabbit hole of thinking about how I could do things and business stuff, and so they were probably the top two for learnings.
It sort of got the brain juices going and got you thinking.
Yeah. I think there was a lot more after the episode for Will and Anthea's one that I kind of just wanted to go and learn about, whereas Kelly taught me during the episodes. That's why I really liked my one with her. What about you?
Oh, I think for me it has to be Steve from the Australian Native Bee Co. And so what ended up happening is anyone that's listened to that episode, my husband Anthony was meant to go and do the workshop, and I was going to miss out because I had other things on. And as it, life happened, that totally flipped around. My thing got cancelled. He then had to go to something else. So he had a boys catch up that got scheduled in. And I said, well, then you go to your boys catch up, honey, and I'm going to go to the workshop, which was phenomenal. But I had this kind of like, I suppose, you with mushrooms as well. And it was the same with the mushrooms for me as well. Like, wow, this is really easy to do. Or I shouldn't say easy, simple to do.
It's straightforward. It's not a complicated rocket science kind of thing.
And for the bees, that was the thing for me as well. Like having had European honeybees and then losing them to varroa, I only had one hive. But I was still very, very new to beekeeping as well and still learning a lot of things. And I got a little bit sort of overwhelmed with a lot of information because, if you've kept bees before and you're a newbie, there's a lot of information that comes in from, old hands that have been around for many years of these are the absolute ways you have to do things, and then you've got different approaches. And so I kind of had that in my head too, that with the native bees it was going to be quite an ordeal. And that, our episode with Steve gave me the confidence to know that I could definitely do the stingless native bees here, and they would be very, very happy, and we would definitely have enough to support them. And then doing the workshop on top of that, I just come out of there going, yes! Yeah. And I really wanted to buy a hive on the day, but with other stuff we've got going on and the temperatures have been so hot here, I just decided that I'm going to wait until next summer and then, I don't know, maybe do this in a really planned and strategic way just for something new. Instead of just throwing myself into the middle of things. So, so that for me was probably the most educational. And I'm still like, I was on his website again the other day and listening back. I got halfway through listening back to the episode, and I still have to finish listening to our other episodes. We record them, and then I don't listen back to most of them because
I edit them, so I get to listen to them again, and then Joe doesn't get forced to listen to them again
because it's hard to listen to yourself. Like it's there's a couple of times though that I have listened to us and I forgot that it was us until I got really loud, and then I was like, oh my god, who's that broad turn her down?
Yeah, that's my voice. Well, don't feel too bad because I asked my husband, what's your favourite episode been that we've done on the podcast? And he said, I haven't listened to any of them.
Oscar.
How slack's that?
Dude.
I said, can you just listen to one to give me some feedback? Not that I probably want his feedback, it'll just make me cranky.
I don't want to listen to you anyway.
Maybe I'll get tips from your husband and you can get tips from mine so that we don't take it personally or something.
I'll have to get mine to guilt him into listening to a few.
Yeah, we should.
Maybe we'll just line him up.
Just one. Like, I just want some feedback, mate.
Just support me. Just pat me on the head and tell me I did a good job. That's it.
So we are going to be taking a short break.
And that's gotten shorter, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was going to be 4 weeks and now it's 2.
Then we went to 4 and that's like, oh, gee, that's long. And then 3 and then we're like, oh.
That's Easter. We'll do an Easter episode.
Yeah, we'll do an Easter episode. And then it was like, why don't we just do 2 weeks and come back?
So we're having a quick 2-week break. And then we'll come back and talk about our plans for our autumn gardens, which I think will be a good little chat because people will be in the same boat of planning and prepping. I'm currently buying all my seeds. I don't know about you.
I don't need to buy any more seeds.
Well, I've got a whole
I really want to, but I don't need to.
So I bought all my seeds for autumn, so we'll go into that a little bit in that episode, and then we'll be doing an Easter episode like we said. And then we'll kind of get stuck into our format as usual, doing half guests, half just me and you having a chat.
But we'll be interviewing like the whole guest.
So
we're not like just doing like
half of our episodes will be with guests, and half of
Come on, you walked into that.
will be just Joe and I gas bagging about whatever we see fit. Really,
probably some practical things. Yeah, we'll be focusing, I think, on more of the practical.
Yeah, a chicken episode. I was thinking maybe a soil health episode might be interesting, because that's something. That people often ask about. Maybe talk about compost a bit in there.
But it won't have a lot of science. So we will warn you there. We are not science people.
Don't do big words.
Don't do big words, no. It'll be the practical side of what you can do to improve your soil without the what's actually going on in a huge amount of detail underneath.
What are some other things we'd talk about? Making money from your homestead or your farm, your property, whatever you want to call it. So we've got some little ideas that we've penciled in that will start kind of firming up over our break.
Mm-hmm.
We're working behind the scenes even though we're not recording. And we've got some epic guests coming up too.
Oh, don't we?
They were meant to be for season 1, but, time constraints and Christmas kind of pushed them back into season 2. So do you want to give them a little sneak peek, Joe?
Should we?
Come on.
Well,
not those YouTubers that leave people hanging.
No, I don't think we can be really. I mean, we're an open book. We can't just go, here it is. So we have Paul West from Grow It Local. You've probably known him from River Cottage Australia and a whole heap of other places. So we are really blessed to have Paul on.
We're kind of fangirling that we get to interview.
Kind of, yeah, Paul. Totally. And look, full disclaimer, when Elise first said yes, I'm like, oh my goodness, like he's too big for our little podcast.
Well, he is.
But it just goes to show that it's all about asking the question, connecting with people, and anyone could be our guest at any point in time.
I think it's that permaculture community too. They are just so freely giving of their time and resources and knowledge, and they just want to get the word out there to as many people as possible. So we've kind of lucked out in the little chosen niche of permaculture because they're just amazing people that we've dealt with so far, and it's been really, really cool.
I mean, everyone that we've met so far has been like, wow, like you are definitely in our new best friend circle, whether you like it or not. Yeah. Sorry, we're going to stalk you.
Yeah.
But
it's wonderful.
It is.
So
it really is. Everyone is very, very open-hearted and like you said, really willing to give of themselves and their knowledge and their time, and we for one appreciate it, and we know that you guys do too. So,
and who else have we got on?
We've got Amanda Paris. So Amanda's from Rockpile Homestead, and she also heads up the Australian Homesteaders community group on Facebook, which has just exploded. So if you are an avid homesteader, or if you are interested in anything to do with homesteading, highly recommend jumping on Australian Homesteaders community. Elise and I are on there. We're very active in there. I'm far more active than I was before because the community is just phenomenal.
And so positive. It's one of those Facebook groups where there's no nastiness, there's no narky comments, there's no I don't know, people just get really keyboard work. There's not like that. Amanda stamps it out. She deletes the comments before they even pop up. And she's so onto it, and everyone is lovely. So if you want a real high vibes group, join that one.
Yep.
Put it in the show notes if you want to go click on it. And then who else we've got?
I'll let you introduce the last one. She's
Meg
pretty
McGowan.
well known too.
Yeah, Meg McGowan. So we've been doing a bit of research about her, and we didn't actually know how much she's done for permaculture. We knew her name, but she has done so much for the Central Coast community as a whole.
That's Central Coast, New South Wales, for anyone that's outside of New South.
Sorry, And, the permaculture community, she's just phenomenal. So we're very excited to be interviewing her and getting her to share her knowledge. So she's part of her, not business, but her organisation is Permacoach. And then she has a blog that's called
Smarter Than Crows.
Smarter Than Crows, that's right. I think she does work with the ABC radio. She does heaps of stuff.
There's a lot. Yeah, she does
lots
a lot.
Of social,
she's a busy lady, but incredibly, focused as well by the looks of it.
Social permaculture that she's a part of, which is part of her business, her organisation that she runs. So we'll be interviewing her about that as well. We've got some other guests lined up as well that you probably know from Instagram and in that gardening world. So we can't wait to share them with you. We've got to confirm that they'll be season 2 and not season 3 before we But yeah, in the meantime, what will you be doing over our 2-week break?
Well, we just started on our kitchen garden, our new kitchen garden, yesterday. So you saw the work that we put there. So we've done a no dig garden. So we've cardboard down. We've mulched it. We've put the paths in with wood chip mulch. It looks really good.
Yeah.
So we're going to let that just sit and do its thing for a bit. Over autumn, winter, we'll put the compost down and then, basically have it ready to rock and roll for spring. I was going to plant it up sooner, but again, I'm trying this, slow and small solutions as opposed to let's all do it yesterday.
Very proud of you.
I know, like using a permaculture principle and everything I use.
That's not like me. That won't be me. Anything else planned?
So I've got that going on. Pulling down some fencing over near the ducks and finalising the duck run to make it fox-proof and so that they can be out and about and we don't have to herd ducks in 8 o'clock every night because that's what we do at the moment because they're ducks, they're not chickens, they don't go in.
So how big, remind me, is your property? 2,
So
3?
We've got 6.5. 6.5. Okay. 6.5, yeah. So the house block and the middle paddock, that probably make up maybe 2.5, maybe almost 3.
Okay.
And then the rest is horse paddock.
Yeah.
And sheep paddock. Yeah.
So that's the main things.
That's the main things
swales?
that we're doing.
Doing swales?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So I've got to get organising some quotes to get someone to come in and excavate some swales for us. That's going to be, I call it an orchard. It's really not an orchard. It's more like a dead tree forest at the moment. They got smashed again in the hot weather and because we hadn't prepared them properly. I spoke about this previous episodes. So we've lost multiple trees again. So come winter, we're going to move, get the swales put in and then we'll move.
So you dig them up?
Dig some of them up, because we're going to espalier some of them. Some of them are just totally in the wrong spot. So we'll do that. So, I've got to get on to getting some quotes there. And we're getting some other works done around. So we're going to get a new carport done.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, that one, if you have a look when you walk out, it's kind of like, it's meant to be like that. It kind of does like that. It's getting to that point. And plus, we want to be able to use it. The way it's set up at the moment isn't utilising water capture.
Yeah.
Yep. So we want to be able to make sure that that's flowing back into our water tanks.
Nice.
So lots of ringing around and quotes. What about you?
So we will be building fences.
Oh, I'm pulling some down.
Yeah,
You're putting some up.
I'll take your wire. So we'll get to the block late next week. So we'll be putting up fences, trying to get our yard secure, so we can actually get deliveries of stuff. I'm quite hesitant to order mulch and things when we don't have a secure yard.
In case you come out one morning and someone has just alleviated your ability to mulch and fence.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for sharing, but not like that.
Not like that.
And then also we're getting a new puppy.
Yay.
A little baby border collie who will be the new Frank because you've got a Frank.
I have a Frank.
So we'll have 2 Franks.
So you're getting a border collie Frank. We've got a Kelpie Frank. So new Frank and old Frank.
And then Dave, our Labrador, is coming back to join our family now. So we'll have Dave and Frank at the property pending the fence being done. But we kind of have to because the puppy has to come at a certain time. So
what are your neighbours going to think when you're out there
going,
Dave, Frank?
We have no neighbours. It's fine.
So you can call frantically out, Dave, Frank, and they're not thinking you're looking for a missing person.
Our children haven't gone wandering. We're responsible adults. And I really want to start building some garden beds similar to you. So I want to get some stuff in the ground straight away. So I think I'll do some pocket planting in some nice soil. There's a guy that does big bags of organic, nice soil. So I'll get some of that and do some pocket planting of just some stuff that I want to get in straight away. And then that way I won't put them in beds, I'll just mound them up. So if we want to put the bed somewhere else, and we can kind of get the lay of the land until next summer. but I'll peg the house out roughly where it's going to be and roughly where our kitchen garden's going to be, because we've done our site sector for the block, which we could probably go into a little bit, like the process of planning next season.
That might even be like a little mini series. Yeah.
But anyway, off topic. So I'm going to peg all that out and see where our kitchen garden is based on our site sector and the plan that I've done for the site.
And then get stuck into it.
Yeah, so we've got an abundance of seaweed that gets washed up on our beaches where we are, especially during those wintry months.
So good.
Yeah, so I'm going to do like lasagna method mound up beds. If we have a chance to build the sides and everything, we will. But otherwise, I'll just build it all up. And same as you, I'm just going to let it rest over winter, decompose. Then when it comes around to springtime, they're ready to go, and I can put some seeds and seedlings in the ground, just top it back up with some more compost. That's the other thing. Not in the 2-week break, but over winter, I want to get like a 3-bay compost system happening so we can kind of make our own compost and soil rather than having to buy it all in, because we're on such a tight budget. So it'll be really interesting, I think, from that perspective.
And you know too, when you make it, you know exactly what the inputs are. You know that it's not going to contain any contaminants or any PFAS or anything like that. You know exactly what's gone into it. You know, you can inoculate it with whatever you want. So it's...
Yeah, I know what the pH is. It's sat there, it's aged. But anyway, so and I think that'll be interesting for people to follow along in our little weekly catch-ups, because we are on a super tight budget. So we bought the block and we've already just got enough money to put this initial infrastructure up, and then we'll be having to sell our caravan to fund the rest of the build. So we'll kind of be either living with family for a couple of weeks or moving into an unfinished house in the middle of winter, trying to juggle it all. So, it'll be interesting.
The upside is you're in a warmer climate. It's not like you're doing this sort of on the south coast of Victoria or something like that. So that's a bonus.
Yes, that's kind of our journey over the next 2 weeks, is pretty much prepping everything for us to start establishing our little homestead.
I'm really looking forward to seeing some photos when you've got things up and things are happening.
Excited, but
I'm sharing that with you as well. I just volunteered you for that. But
super excited, but I'm just so nervous about money. Like, if you listen to our first episode, we really got trapped in that rat race of living and spending and overspending and keeping up with the Joneses. So, like, I am super excited, but I'm also really nervous to just be more conscious this time around of not extending ourselves. And we're both working part-time, so just hoping it covers the mortgage and our outgoings.
I think you'll end up finding really cool ways of
being frugal
and coming up with solutions that are frugal solutions and things that you may not have thought of if you had the finances to be able to just go, let's go buy this or let's get that. And I think that like, you're already slowing down as it is anyway, but I think it'll force you to slow down even more and consider everything. So I think that'll be a really interesting process for you.
Yeah.
And for us as well, because we'll be on the journey with you.
I'm already trying to barter a little bit. I just think it's hard when people aren't used to it.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's there was a company that we learned about where you can get your plans blown up on the ground and you can actually ground truth your plans before you actually submit it to council, so you can have a feel. And then they have furniture and you can drag it around. So you can be like, oh, is there enough space to walk around the lounge? And
oh, wow.
It's a really interesting concept. And I thought that could save us a lot of money in the long run because we're not changing things on the fly. Yeah. So I inquired and it was like $800 to do it. And I was like, oh, I can't really justify that. So I contacted them and said, oh, hey, if I do some photography and shoots and do some social media stuff for you, will you? She was like, oh, we've already kind of got someone that does this and that. And so I think it's easy when you're in that permaculture scene and group and you have your people and your tribe to lean on, but because we don't have that, and I'm just kind of cold calling people being like, hey, you want to barter with me?
It's sort of going, hey, this isn't normal. Yeah.
It's interesting to kind of do that and just see what.
But how cool will it be for you to be able to, even get them thinking in that direction, even though they may not choose to do that with you. If someone approaches them a second time and they might go, oh, hang on, well, we've already got someone doing this, but would you, with your skill set, can you do that?
Yeah.
So, who knows? Like, these conversations that you've had anyway, even though you've not been necessarily the beneficiary of that conversation. Someone else might be.
And for that 5 minutes of awkwardness, like, where they're like, what do you mean? Like, no, I want the money. Like, don't be stupid. It's worth it, Someone might say yes. So, yeah.
You don't ask, you don't know.
Yeah. But that's our plan. So we'll see you on the flip side in 2 weeks' time.
So we'll be back on the 22nd?
Yeah, 22nd of March is our first episode back. And then we'll go into our Easter episode the following week.
And we've got, a few format changes. So
little tweaks.
Won't go into it too much, but we'll...
we've got to tell the mini episodes.
Oh, yeah, we forgot about those.
Yeah, so we're doing mini episodes next season too. So along with our normal long chats that we're doing, we're going to be doing shorter episodes that are maybe like 10, 15 minutes if we can stop talking so much.
You might be doing some pretty heavy duty
editing. Hardcore editing.
It might just be like random words, just trying to get
soil,
us down.
Health, compost. So the little mini episodes are going to be more based on techniques.
Yes.
Mainly gardening focused, because we know a lot of people are into the gardening side of permaculture, and that's kind of what reels you in, and you start learning about the other sides of it. So we want to try and keep some of our episodes really gardening focused and doing mini episodes mainly on techniques you can use.
Sort of hacks and tips and tricks and but also some homesteading things as well. A few things in the kitchen. So the growing side and then also the consumption side as well. So
And that's the end of the episode.
That's it. So we will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.